Caleb. Texas presents some challenges, especially in the quarterback run game. Can you address how you feel your role might help, what the performance was defensively for you guys in that first meeting?
Well, in the first game, I mean, a lot of his linebackers with Kenneth and Buzzy, we make a lot of the tackles, and so, well, those two make a lot of the tackles, and so with me being on the field or Buzzy being on the field, I know that was a little bit different, and so having all three of us on the field should help with making secure tackles, and my size and athletic ability should help with keeping me on the field, and so having another linebacker who could be in coverage but also be in the run as well, that should help. But I mean, he can run the ball for sure, and so we've seen that, and he's really good at it. And so I think as long as we're doing our job, and doing your job is really the main thing on defense. If you do your job and all of us do it, then I mean, we should handle business.
Did it take you a while to get comfortable going back outside again?
No, I mean, the very first week back in 5 practices playing outside, I had a good game. The coaches named me Defense Player of the Week for our team, and so right away it was pretty comfortable getting to go back out there. I mean, I had done it for 2 years, and it's a little different this year, but Coach Siako really had my head right and really helped me out.
Caleb, do you think those 2 defensive touchdowns against West Virginia changed the perception of you guys' defense, maybe nationally?
I don't know. I mean, you're saying through media?
Yeah. People who are saying, and the selection committee that's going to pick the playoff teams is saying, well, you know, we like complete teams. We like teams that can play, are efficient offensively and defensively. How do you feel like that maybe changes how people see your defense?
Going into the game, I know we hadn't had very many turnovers, so to get 2 in the same game and 4 touchdowns as well, that's very positive. But nationally, just the view of people don't like our defense. I mean, our stats haven't been great, and so as we continue to go forward and we finish out the season, finishing on a high note for sure is a good thing, and being able to have those turnovers, it helps us as a team and it helps us in the game as well, and so I think it's good. But for a selection committee, I don't really know how they do it personally, so we try to stay away from that as much as we can.
What do you see it on the team that says that the stats aren't who you guys actually are?
Well, I mean, even in rewatching the game, I wanted to watch what they were saying a little bit, and they said that only 2 teams had less turnovers than we did, and so that's why I said that.
Caleb, at times it looks like the game's really easy for you, yet you've struggled to find a home. You know, how far away do you think you are to being that consistent playmaker that we kind of see, flashes of?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, from all the way from the Sugar Bowl all the way to now, there's always been, and that's one thing that Obo used to always tell me, you always show flashes, but I want you to do it all the time. And so have those splash plays all the time, every week, be consistent. And so I think just in learning and just in playing this game, every year and every week going into it, your mindset going into a game, it can be so different. And when I stress and I think, oh, I got to make a play, usually that's when the plays don't come. When I feel like I'm doing too much, when I'm trying to do too much and not doing my job. I mean, when I have the turnovers, that's me just doing my job, making plays, and God does the rest kind of thing. And so when I have that mindset of be laid back, have fun playing football with your boys, that's usually when I play better. And so in the past couple games, just playing at Sam, I mean, I've been out there just kind of stress-free, just having fun again. And so I've been playing well and trying to be more consistent with it, making turnovers and everything that comes in practice as well. We've been practicing that for weeks, and so every day I like to get at least 1 strip or 2 strips in practice, just getting the ball on the ground, and so it carried over into the game. And so as long as I continue to just relax and have fun playing football, I feel like I'll continue to grow and just learn in the game and just have fun doing it.
Can the turnovers you guys created for touchdowns, can that freedom, can that translate into just better consistent play, you think? Because those are big plays that help you win the game. It's from a confidence standpoint, because I know it's got to be tough when you want to play well, but can that help you in terms of going forward?
Yeah, I mean, seeing that you can make the plays, you can do it again. And so as a defense, we see we can we can get PBUs, we can get strips, we can get interceptions. If we do that in practice, if we do that in the games, it helps with your confidence. I mean, how do you build confidence? It's by work. You know, if you've prepared for it, then in the game is going to work. And so I think that does help making big plays like that. But I think just having fun is overall where you get your confidence, having fun with you guys. If you're stressing so much and if you're so hard on yourself that you can't let go, you can't have that fight-on mentality, then I think that's when we start losing confidence.
So, Caleb, do you feel like you're in a better position mentally to reach the places like what Kerry was asking you, the consistency, and how much of that is because of what you went through for most of the early part of this season?
Yeah, I do think I'm in a better place mentally. I'd say because of that as well. I mean, I've been through everything pretty much now. I've gotten injured. I've had the surgery now. I've been a second-string player now, and these are all first times in my entire life. And so having that happen to me, I feel like it helps me going forward. Like, you can get through anything, and just having my faith and just having my people around me who support me and really mean it when they support me, and I can lean on them and they can lean on me when they need me. I think that's just what I needed. And so kind of finding that and kind of having that going through it, it's really made me stronger, made me a better football player mentally, and I think it can help me going forward for sure.
Caleb, is this defense better, worse, or the same as it was when you left the Cotton Bowl after the first game against Texas compared to that?
Oh, that's a good question to think about. I say as a defense, after having the game we had last week, I'd say every day our goal is to get better every single day in practice. And so I think we see when we practice and when we do the things that carries over to the game, we had better tackling, and then weeks where we didn't practice tackling as much, we didn't tackle as well. And so I think just doing the things in practice and focusing on it and really being in tune in practice, not messing around in practice, not just doing whatever, but just really focusing, it does carry over for us. And so, I mean, the proof is in the games. We had turnovers, and we work on that all week. And so I think we're better because we know that as long as we work hard, our work ethic and what we do can impact our game.
Said that, is there still a level of frustration at not doing things to make, whether it's statistics or the point totals that you're giving up? You could be doing other things to make that better and take some of the focus off your defense.
Well, with that fight-on mentality, I mean, you could be frustrated about it, but you can't change the past. And so as long as we're moving forward and we're working to do what's right now, I mean, there's nothing we can do to change what happened before. So you could be mad about it, but as long as we continue to get better and we continue to win games, then we should be fine.
Caleb, would you like to rush the passer more?
More? I mean, yeah. I mean, I love the big play, the sack plays, but I also like covering. I like being out there as well, and so I mean, I'm comfortable doing both, and so all around it doesn't matter. As long as one thing I have learned as well is that if you do it for the team, it helps you out personally more. So it's not about me really. It's about wherever my coach tells me I need to do, then I'm going to do it.
Just watching that play the other night, I mean, that wasn't a blitz where you caught him by surprise. I mean, the guy didn't look up and you're around. You just went right through him. It makes us wonder, why isn't he rushing the passer all the time?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty light right now, so I mean that's probably one thing in the coach's mind. I'm a smaller guy. There's bigger guys who can pass rush, and so I know that's got to be one thing. But I work on it, and I'll continue to work on it for sure.
That's a pretty big guy you ran through. Did you just catch him off balance or something? He went straight down.
Honestly, I think his foot got hooked on the next guy, so I just caught him at the right time. But I did get a good separation with it as well.
What was the response from your teammates and family and friends when they saw not just a strip sack, but as you mentioned, you went through the tackle like it was nothing?
People, I mean, my phone was blowing up after the game and everything, but my family, they like to talk about the stuff I do bad more than what I do good. They like to make sure my head's still small and not getting a big head or anything.
You mentioned first injury. Did it take you a little bit longer than you thought to recover from that shoulder?
I think we kind of said with the injury that I think we just kind of said that just so people weren't pressing me too much, but I think Buzzy just flat out won the position role, and so I think that's why I wasn't playing so much earlier. I don't think it was so much about the shoulder or anything. My shoulder's been fine all year and since fall camp. I just think they were just saying that kind of saved my image, but I think Buzzy just won flat out, and so that's why I hadn't played so much in the front half of the season.
Caleb, when you guys normally play Texas, it's the Cotton Bowl, it's the fair, it's, all that stuff. Obviously, you guys played in this game last year at Jerry World, but is it going to be odd still to be going against Texas and not have the pageantry of it all?
I mean, it'll be different for sure. I like the drive-in, and I like seeing everything split halfway, and I think it's really cool. You get some cool pictures out of it too, but I don't know. I mean, a football game's a football game. All that outside is awesome, but once you're on the field, you kind of lock in. And so, I mean, game time, it'll be game time. But I do love the Cotton Bowl. I do love how everything's put on, and that's everybody's favorite game every year. So,
Caleb, what is it that motivates you to be so involved in your community and to give back and help people?
Well, I mean, I grew up like that. I mean, going back home with FCA and everything. Derek Carr, he was a Fresno State quarterback. He's quarterback for the Raiders, everybody knows. And so he went to my junior high school. And so he came back and spoke to us, and I was like, all right, I want to be like that. I want to do that. And I want to be good at football, but I want to speak to kids. I want to talk about the Lord and do all that. And so I've had a lot of opportunities doing it. Coming up here right away, one of the first people I met was Jeremy Timms, the FCA chaplain, and our team chaplain. And so just doing that, I mean, it makes you feel good, but I just like seeing what the kids can say. I like to see what the kids do, how they interact with us, because there's those kids who are like, oh, you're a football player, but then there's those kids like, what makes you so cool? And so I just enjoy really talking to the kids and hanging out with them. I mean, I've spoke to every level, elementary, junior high, high school, and even at a couples retreat one time, a coach's couple retreat. And so I've hit adults and everything, but I do enjoy kids the most, I'll say, just because they are the future, and I know that's so kind of cliche to say, but they really do. There's so many different kids, and there's so many different opportunities you can make with them, and so I just love hanging out with them and kind of instilling that Jesus died on the cross, and he's your savior, and you get to heaven and be with him. And so just starting that at a young age, I think that's really awesome.
You talk about some kids not having any idea who you are. Do you have like a trick or something you do to try to be cool to those kids that are like, who are you?
No, I think usually they like messing with my hair. Like if they don't know who I am, they'll usually talk about my hair. And like even when we went to Haiti, they were all making fun of me because they said it was girl hair and I was a guy. And so, yeah.
Can that be a challenge with your time management schedule as tight as it is?
Oh, no. I mean, we have a tight schedule, but if I'm just on the weekend, usually, when I was back home, I didn't like just sitting at the house. My mom and I were always running, going everywhere. I was with my girl or with my little brother, always going to somebody's house doing something. And so when I'm just sitting there, I don't like being alone really either. And so I'll just be like, all right, is there anything I could do? And JT will usually hit me up any free time we have. And if I answer quick enough, he'll let me go, because sometimes he'll be like, all right, you need a break. But if I answer quick, he'll be like, okay, we can go.
Anything else for Caleb?
Thanks, Caleb.